Okay, today's Thursday, March 5th. Happy birthday, cousin Mike.
Hi. You have a lot of people to your birthday.
He's down in the bayou. Where's that at?
Out of it.
No, swamp.
No idea.
Where?
Oh,
Cajun country, down in the bayou. Louisiana.
a different circle.
All right, we are just getting basic, fundamental, foundational practice with using a protractor and getting used to not calling it that half circle thing. It's called a protractor. Okay, and we want to make sure that we put the straight edge right along the ray, get the circle right at the vertex, and you can see, reading the inside scale, what I tried to draw there was a 90-degree angle. It's pretty good. Please don't play helicopter. What did I try to accomplish with this angle? A 45. Very prevalent angles. Let's see how close I got. 42. Miserable. No, not too bad.
So you got 42 also?
42.
I have the same one as like.
What if my angle was facing to the left?
Oh, it would be.
That would be a left angle, right? Ha ha ha. No.
No.
How old were you when you figured out that could also be a right angle? Today? Who said that? Okay, let's see how close I got to 90. Straight edge, right in the center. So now I'm getting the outside scale, because it's from the left, and pretty close to 90. Everybody practice. Everybody in here can, if necessary, measure an angle. You can do it? How many did you draw? Do at least 3 or 4.
I did 3.
Make an obtuse angle. Okay? Because if you make an obtuse angle, it's going to force you to say, wait, which scale do I use, the inside or the outside?
Oh, you use the outside.
So if I make an obtuse angle, what's an obtuse angle? Greater than 90. Make sure. So if I put my straight edge along the ray, my center point right on the vertex, which scale do I have to use?
The inside.
The inside circle, because it's opened up from right to left, and my angle is 140.
That's mine too. That's what I got.
Seriously?
Yeah. I don't want to try.
Evidently, Mrs. Mayer was on the hunt for my big wooden compass. Evidently, it's not anywhere to be seen. Don't understand. You ever have one of those situations where you're looking for something and you can see it, but you can't place where you saw it?
Oh,
yeah.
And I haven't seen it, obviously, yet this year, but I think I have.
Oh,
But I can't. Our auction basket sports thing.
Have you been one of the idea for art film?
Do you? Yeah. Yes.
What do you have this?
Yeah. I went in my closet. I was thinking compass. It wasn't there. See, that's another reason I need full functionality. I always forget to check. Yeah. Are you shy? You're not on. Oh. What did you need?
Just open the door.
Oh, okay.
I was wondering if I do have one. Do you want me to go see?
Well, Valerie, I checked with her. I thought maybe it was borrowed, but no.
was just saying, Mrs. Arthur's, I don't know if she had one of her.
Well, unfortunately, even though we told them Thursday was the day, we got about 6 kids with compasses here
I have one.
one.
Is today the day?
Yeah.
that we were gonna work on.
Today's the day my 6th grade has to have compasses.
Really?
Yeah.
And how many brought them?
I'll tell you next time.
Everybody good with the protractor? Anybody need more help? Anybody need help?
Yeah.
Need more practice?
No.
Yes.
I don't.
Go to page 380. 380. And they're going to show you the most basic way to work compass now. Because the compass isn't just used to make circles. Okay? So if you have your compass, you can start on that piece of paper and don't worry about how it is, but it's very difficult, and it was for me, because I was not very artistic or crafty at anything. Just learning how to keep the compass in one place and make a circle was a nightmare sometimes for me. So if you have a compass on your piece of paper, first thing you do is put the point on the paper and try to draw a perfect circle.
Okay, ready?
I've already done this one.
That's why we're doing it. Yeah.
I did it.
And if you are feeling friendly and your neighbor doesn't have a compass after you've done a few practice circles, feel free to share. They were negligent and didn't bring their compass. David?
I try my best.
Didn't this happen yesterday? I'm starting to feel a little bit offended. Didn't you leave my class yesterday?
Hey, I made a perfect circle. I'm proud of you. Thanks, Laura. This is
Anybody struggling? Like, I can't make a circle to save my life. And frankly, sometimes, if you're like me and you always go the cheap route, you get these really cheap compasses and they don't work at all. They won't hold the pencil.
Mine's steel.
You don't have a compass with you?
That's steel. Mine's metal. It's pretty cool. That thing's like 40 years old.
This is mine.
My mom's never circle.
Oh, yeah. It's not even writing.
Well, if your paper is going to move around, it's not going to work very well.
It's been working.
You set it down and then you spin it around. Now you put on the.
If you don't have their compass and you have practice making a circle, please feel free to share. Yeah.
My mom was coming in like second period to this one math class for like hours before her voice. So I can probably ask to go down.
Yeah, I understand that. I know, but I don't want to bother her in the middle of class.
I like to have circles in the protractor.
Has everybody had a chance to at least try to make a circle?
I made it
Nobody in that area over there brought a compass?
I made it, but I made a perfect circle. I did it with
No, compass.
I made a perfect circle.
You don't throw a short metal object through the air.
Dominic,
It didn't hit anyone.
thankfully. Nice. Okay, compass. A compass isn't just for making circles. You can reconstruct triangles, and they start you on page 380 with showing you how to reconstruct just a regular angle. Here's what you do. I'm going to draw a 45 or close to it angle, get on the board. So on a piece of paper, just draw any old angle. It doesn't matter how big it is. I tried to draw mine close to 45 degrees. Go ahead and do that. If you have your compass, draw an angle that's about 45 degrees. Then, next to that, follow what they're doing on page. Just put a line, make an angle.
Okay, what page?
380. Then next to that, you see they've drawn a ray. And the purpose here is, again, very basic. They're going to show you that you can copy this exact angle by using a compass. Okay, so step one, draw any old angle, then draw a ray next to it. Everybody with me?
No. I'm lost.
If you have your compass, just draw any old angle. No, like this. Like I just did.
Oh, so just.
Don't worry about the measure of it. It doesn't matter.
Okay, I did it.
Just draw any old angle. I tried to draw mine about 45 degrees.
I have a compass on my watch.
Different kind of compass. That sounds like a Mr. Lamb joke. When he heard me in the hallway saying protractors and compass, he says, "What's the matter, you lost?" Mr. Lamb joke. Okay. Everybody got this that has a compass? If you don't have your compass, watch what they're doing. Step two. Draw an arc, not a whole circle. Wait, before you start. You're going to put your point of your compass on this vertex. Everybody knows this is called a vertex?
Yeah.
Okay, they call that A. You put the point right on there, and then you make an arc through both rays of the angle that you've drawn. We're on step 2, page 380. And where your arc intersected this ray and that ray, they're saying you've created 2 new points, B and C. Everybody following? If you don't have your compass, glance down to page 380, step 2. Look at the person nearest you that has a compass. Try to see if they're doing it right.
Like that.
What they've done is, look, what's the point here again? Kira, you're going to show that you can create a congruent angle with just a line and a compass. You're going to be able to draw the exact same angle. You put your tip right there, and you made it. Okay? Now, you're going to put your tip right here. Hold on. You got to keep, listen, this is very important. And if it's a cheap compass, this is where problems could happen. How wide your compass is open when you make this arc, keep it the same. Don't enclose your compass. Keep the compass the same width, open apart. Got it? So you've made your arcs here. Now put the tip right here at the beginning of this ray, and they are making another arc that goes through here. You don't have to make a whole circle. And there's no other ray yet. Don't worry about it. Just make an arc that intersects your ray that you have. And notice I made sure it went at least. I didn't make the arc like that because I know my angle is going to be at least that far open, right? So make your arc till it goes at least as far as you know that your new angle is going to be. Step 3. Now they're going to take their compass and they're going to put the point on, they call this B and this C. They're going to put the point here. And they're going to draw another arc. Now, set your compass open so that it set the point there, and the pencil, you want it to be able to intersect right there. So now you got to really be careful with the opening of your compass. Keep the setting the same, and so you're going to take, anybody got their compass?
Yeah.
Anybody close to me? Look,
Yeah.
you're going to take this isn't going to open wide enough, but you're going to put the point there, and you're going to open it to where it meets that, and you're going to make an arc.
Wait, where?
Open it till it meets this intersection, and then make an arc.
Make it like on the.
like this. Put the point on B, open your compass wide enough that you can intersect the previous arc you made. And if you don't do it right perfectly the first time, you're normal. Does everybody see what they did?
Wait,
Right here, you put the point right on B.
Oh, then you go.
And then you draw an arc that intersects that previous arc you made right on that ray. Look, page 380. 380 is guiding you. See the red arc they drew?
Yeah.
In step 3? Now this is the most important part. You got to keep the opening that you drew this arc. Then you're going to go, if you look to the right, and put the point at this intersection. I think they called it Y.
Yeah.
And keeping that same opening, you're going to make
That is so.
an arc that intersects that arc.
That is so cool.
The opening has to stay the same. Then you're going to take your protractor or ruler and you're going to line up this vertex with this intersection and you should have created the exact same angle. Of course, mine's. I didn't.
That is so cool.
You will have create. Now, you got to make sure you did it right by taking your protractor and measuring the degrees in this one and the degrees in that one. Here's the steps again. You just drew a normal old angle and a ray. You made an arc that intersected both rays of your angle.
Yes.
Then you came over here, and you made an arc that intersected this ray. You made it big enough that you knew you were going to draw a line eventually.
You don't move it the whole time? A little, no.
Well, making this arc didn't really matter. What really is most important is you don't move it once you put your point here and make this intersection. You have to keep that opening the same, obviously, because that's going to determine how wide the angle is over here, Bella. Make sense?
Yeah.
So once you put it on this point and make this arc, this has to be the same as that. That's the key thing. And then you take your straight edge, you go through that opening, and measure your angles when you're done. Both your angles should be the exact same degrees if you did it right. Yeah. Did you measure them?
Yeah. I mean, I was like 10 off.
Yeah, see, that's something worth knowing. If you got different degrees, something went wrong when you moved your compass. Look, when you went from putting your point right on the B and making that arc, this opening has to be the same when you make this arc, or it's not going to be the same angle. And sometimes it's very easy to, when you move your compass, to have it close on you or open on you. Especially some of those plastic ones, they don't stay as tight. Did you stay nice and tight? Did you get the same degrees? Nice. You did it? Same degrees? Awesome. No, you don't have to break it, David. You don't have to break it. Some of them are broken, but they don't have to. Right? Okay, you ready for more fun? Thanks, fella.
Yeah.
More fun. See if you can draw perpendicular lines. Follow the steps on page 381. Start with just a line. Just make a line. Use a straight edge so it won't be crooked like mine. Then you're going to put a point, listen, just anywhere above the line. Then you're going to put your compass on that center point, this point that you put up here, they're calling it P, and you're going to draw an arc that intersects this line down here in two places. So you have your compass, you just drew any old line, you put a point above it, you open your compass to where you can put your point of your compass on that point, and your pencil intersects this line in two places. So you got kind of a half circle here, right? That's step one on page 381. Label these A and B. You already did the perpendicular? Label those A and B. Don't let your compass setting change. Be very careful it doesn't get closer together or further apart. Using the same compass setting, draw arcs with centers A and B. So they took the point on B and the point on A and got them to intersect. They put their point on A, keep the same setting, make an arc, put your point on B, make an arc that intersects that arc, and then you, of course, I don't have my big wooden compass, but this would be about right here, right? And then you would take your straight edge, draw a line from where they intersect to that random point you put up top, and it'll be straight up and down.
Oh, you're going like this.
You're making perpendicular lines.
I just don't measure. What? I don't.
Like this?
No.
Listen, first thing you did was just draw a straight line.
Yep.
And put a point above it.
Oh, I forgot.
Put a point above it. You got to have the point because that's your starting point. You put the
That's right.
point of your compass there and draw an arc that intersects that line left and right.
This is what mine is.
Then you put the compass setting at this point has to be the same. You put the compass point on A, make an arc that intersects the arc you already made. Put your point on B, make an arc that intersects that point. And they will because you kept the setting the same. Do you understand that? When you kept your compass setting the same, A is the same distance from, this is the point. A is the same distance from your random point you started with as B is. That was why you made that first arc. Because now you know that A and B are the same distance from this guy. So then when you make your two new arcs, starting at A, arc, starting at B, arc, where they intersect, that's going to ensure that they're the same distance from P down here. Let me say that again.
What if they don't intersect it on?
Yeah, mine intersects
You start with just a line and a point above it. Do you understand why your first arc intersects both of these lines? Why does your first arc, where you put your point on P,
because they have to be
compass.
the same distance.
okay, when you put your point on P, why does this arc have to intersect both lines? Because that ensures that this and this are the same distance from P. Raise your hand if you get that.
I get it.
By doing that, it makes it so that they're both the same distance from P. So then when you make your setting so that your arc starting at A and your arc starting at B intersect each other at that same arc, they're also the same distance from A and B. And if this point's the same distance from A and B as this point, they're going to be perpendicular. And they're going to create right angles. Because that's what perpendicular lines do, create right angles, right? You follow all that? And why would this be important? Listen, what profession might you go into where something like this would be important? Now, you might be sitting there thinking, I'm going to be the center fielder for the Cleveland Indians like I did when I was your age, and that's all fine and dandy, but what if that doesn't work? Somebody in here might be in this profession. In fact, I'd say that at least one of you will be in a profession where you're kind of using stuff like this. Can you name a profession where they use this? Architecture. Engineering and architecture. People that make things, build things, make blueprints. You ever hear of a blueprint?
Yes.
Okay, that's a drawing of, hey, this is my plan. This is what the building is like. All of this comes into play. You have to present this to someone. You're going to sell your project to someone that's going to invest money in it. It's got to be done, and you got to show them that it's going to work. So hopefully somebody in here likes this, because we need engineers for the future.
David wants to be in there. Yeah.
You understand how to make that perpendicular line? This arc ensures that A and B are the same distance from P. Keeping your compass at the same setting ensures that this new mark you're making, mine's a mess, is the same from A and B. So then, whoop, straight line.
I like engineering.
And you can make parallel lines. Example 3. Follow the steps in example 2. So you have a line with a point above it. Then you go back to example 1. Let's see. They expect you to be professionals at this point.
Yeah.
Did you have homework yesterday? 2 straight days with no homework?
So you all finished?
It was crazy. I was up all night.
Noah's going to collect those protractors. Thanks, Noah. No homework, 2 days in a row.